Most collectors focus on the moment a collectible is created: the minting, the print run, the production line, the official release, the announcement of a new manufacturing change, a redesigned mold, a different printing technique, a new material, or a modified factory process. But the real story doesn't start there. It starts the day after. Today, we're exploring what really happens after manufacturing changes in collectibles. When the headlines fade, the excitement settles, and the long-term effects begin shaping the collectible market in ways few people expect. Because whether we're talking about coins, trading cards, action figures, comics, stamps, or luxury collectibles, manufacturing decisions ripple through the collecting world for decades. And sometimes, those ripples quietly transform rarity, authenticity, value, and history itself. Let's start with the moment everyone remembers. A manufacturer announces a change. Maybe it's a new production process designed to improve efficiency. Maybe it's a material switch due to costs or supply shortages. Or maybe it's a design revision intended to modernize a product line. At the time, these decisions often feel logical, even exciting. Manufacturers promise better durability, higher production capacity, improved quality control, modernized designs. Collectors often react with curiosity, sometimes excitement, sometimes skepticism, but rarely alarm. Because in that moment, most people assume the change is simply an upgrade, and at the time, that assumption makes sense. The day after the manufacturing change, everything appears normal. Production continues, items ship, collectors purchase them, retailers stock shelves, auction sites list the newest pieces. In fact, early reactions are often positive. Collectors might praise cleaner printing, sharper details, improved packaging, higher durability. Manufacturers celebrate the success of the change. Sales remain strong, reviews are favorable, and from the outside, it looks like the decision worked perfectly. But underneath this calm surface, something else begins quietly unfolding. Something collectors rarely notice right away. This is where the invisible shifts begin. Manufacturing changes rarely affect just one aspect of a collectible. They influence entire ecosystems. Small details start to diverge between old and new production. Maybe the cardstock becomes slightly thicker. Maybe the ink formula changes. Maybe the plastic molds wear differently. Maybe the minting machines produce slightly altered textures. At first, these changes seem insignificant. But collectors eventually begin noticing subtle differences. Slight color variations, small changes in weight, minor alterations in surface texture, different aging patterns over time. These subtle variations create something powerful in the collectibles world. Variants. Variants often become rare production runs, transitional editions, highly sought-after anomalies. Sometimes the most valuable collectible items exist because of a manufacturing change no one noticed at the time. The consequences of manufacturing changes don't arrive loudly, they arrive slowly. Years later, collectors start asking questions. Why do early versions feel different? Why does this print run look slightly darker? Why does one version age differently than another? Experts begin investigating. Gradually, patterns emerge. A specific factory change, a new production machine, a temporary material substitution, and suddenly, collectors realize that what once seemed like a minor operational decision actually created distinct collectible generations. In some cases, these discoveries reshape the market. Certain versions become far rarer than anyone realized. Others become known for defects or unique traits. And the manufacturing change that once seemed insignificant becomes a defining moment in collectible history. But remember, nothing broke overnight. The change was always there. People just didn't see it yet. Most collectors don't ignore these signals. They simply don't see them yet. And there are several reasons why. First, cognitive bias. When a collectible is released, people focus on the excitement of ownership, not microscopic production details. Second, overconfidence in manufacturers. Collectors assume production standards are consistent and controlled. Third, process blindness. Few people understand how complex manufacturing systems truly are. Factories constantly adjust: tools, materials, calibration, supplier inputs. Even tiny adjustments can create collectible differences. And finally, there's emotional investment. Collectors want their items to be valuable, authentic, and consistent. So early inconsistencies are often dismissed, until one day, those small inconsistencies become the most important details in the entire collecting market. Experienced collectors rarely judge a collectible by its release day alone. Instead, they watch what happens after production changes occur. They ask deeper questions. Questions like, did the manufacturing location change? Were new suppliers introduced? Was a different machine used during production? Did the manufacturer alter materials due to shortages? Were there multiple production batches? Experts also monitor signals like weight variations, color differences, serial number anomalies, printing inconsistencies. These details might seem insignificant, but seasoned collectors know something important. The smallest manufacturing differences often produce the most valuable collectible discoveries. The lesson here isn't avoid new releases. The lesson is think beyond the release moment. Every collectible has two timelines: the moment it is produced and everything that happens after production evolves. A better mindset for collectors is simple. Don't just ask, is this collectible valuable today? Ask instead, how might manufacturing changes shape this collectible over time? Because sometimes the most valuable items in the collecting world weren't designed to be rare. They became rare because of what happened the day after production changed. Most collectibles don't become legendary the moment they are produced. They become legendary in the years that follow. When collectors notice differences, when historians uncover production changes, when rare variants emerge, and when the true story behind a collectible finally comes to light. If this changed how you think about manufacturing and collectibles, then it achieved its goal. Because collecting isn't just about owning objects, it's about understanding how history was made. This is the day after. And next time on Collectible-pedia, we'll explore what really happens the day after a collectible suddenly becomes famous.